There are several dangers out there for people who are looking to defend themselves on the street. And I'm not just talking about the human predators out there that are looking to prey upon the weak, the old, the young, people that they look as an easy mark. What I'm talking about are the people out there roaming the internet, roaming the martial arts magazines, roaming the strip malls, looking for an easy mark. The bottom line is this: 99.99% of the instructors out there have never been in a fight in their entire lives. 99.9% of the instructors out there trying to teach martial arts are teaching things that have absolutely no place on the street. Now, I have no problem with learning martial arts if you want to learn about the culture of a particular country, if you want to get in shape, participate in a sport. I think those are all wonderful things, and I have absolutely nothing against the martial arts. I particularly have a black belt in the martial art Hapkido, haven't trained in it for many years, and I don't teach it at all anymore. And I would never go ahead and try to teach a martial art to somebody. My problem with martial artists is when they don't have the same respect to people like me who have actually been on the street, been in fights, and teach things that work, okay? I have the respect to say, I'm not a martial arts instructor, go to somebody else who can help you, because I can't. But there are a lot of martial artists out there that are just looking to make the quick buck, and they will teach you something that may have worked 3,000 years ago, who the hell knows anymore, and they will tell you that it will work on the streets these days. Well, I'm here to tell you that it won't. I went ahead and I spent many years of my life getting a black belt in Hapkido. Went out when I was just out of high school, just went ahead and joined the army, was drinking in the barracks, and a guy just about strangled my ass. And there was nothing I could do about it, even though the martial art of Hapkido is well known as a self-defense martial art, even though the martial art of Hapkido specifically teaches you how to get out just about any hole you can. Well, I couldn't get out of this hole. And the only thing that saved my ass on that day is the two other guys that happened to be with me in the barracks that finger by finger pulled me out of this guy's death grip. Otherwise, I'd be dead today. That day I decided I'm never going to be in this situation again. And that day I decided, screw the martial arts, I want to survive. And this is the decision that you need to make as well. The bottom line is this: when you're standing on the street, when somebody's standing in front of you and he wants to hurt you, he wants to rape you, he wants to kidnap your child, there's only one important question that you need to have the answer for. Are you going to smash him, or is he going to smash you? One of you people is going to beat the other person until a bloody pulp. That's it. You're not going to roll up a newspaper and smack him around with it like you learned in your YMCA martial arts self-defense class. You're not going to do a perfect block, jump in the air, kick him in the head like you saw in Matrix. One of you guys is going to get the shit kicked out of him, lay on the ground bleeding. Hopefully, if it's you, the guy will stop kicking you where you stop moving. The bottom line is, can you smash him or can he smash you? And this is the question that you need to find the answer for. And this is the question that you need to prepare yourself for. I've learned in my years of martial arts training a whole bunch of stuff, and I got myself in really good shape. Learned a lot about the Korean culture, and I'm very proud of myself for having received a black belt. I've disciplined myself. I've learned lots of wonderful things. Doesn't help you a damn in a street fight. I went ahead and learned from some of the best street fighters I could, and then when I realized that I wanted to put myself to the test, I got a job working at the door of a discotheque, and then later another bar, and in between a couple of table dance places here in Germany, where I got in fights on a bad night or a good night, whatever you want to call it. I was in more than one fight in one night. Okay, I've had people try to hit me with bottles. I've found knives on people when I was searching them when they're at the door. I've worked with other guys that have gotten stabbed. I've worked with other guys that have gotten hit with bottles. I've been hit with bottles myself. These are some serious fights. This is a serious situation. I can tell you, I know exactly what works. I know exactly what doesn't work. And the rough and tumble stuff that I learned working the door and from the other street fighters and from experimenting and actually testing this shit in real life, I can tell you that it's not pretty, but it's not hard to learn, and it doesn't take a long time to learn. The bottom line is this: if somebody tells you, yes, you could just step at 45 degrees, block a punch, twist his arm, hold him on the ground, he's blind to you. If I go ahead and tell you this is how you basically headbutt a person, these are situations where you can go ahead and get more effective biting a person, things like this, tips and tricks that aren't exactly perfect, but you could apply them in just about any situation because they're not perfect. because they're just techniques, tactics, tricks, dirty tricks that will save your ass when you're in a jam, when your back's to the wall, when you're screwed. That's the kind of thing that will get you out of a bad situation. Question is, how are you going to learn this? I can't be everywhere and I can't teach everyone. Not everyone has access to a street fighter, an experienced bouncer, some cops that have actual combat experience. So where does the average person who lives in the suburbs maybe, who doesn't really have anything to do with this kind of violent lifestyle, where does he go to? I've decided to come up with an answer for all of you. What I've come up with is a Street Fighter's Mastery program. Bottom line is I'm going to start out at the very beginning with some of the dirtiest tricks that you can learn right away. Progress into some of the mental techniques used. I got bitten once. It hurt like hell. The techniques that I have developed to overcome pain and to fight on are what saved my ass when I had to reach into this guy's eyes, pull his head open, get my arm out of his mouth. Okay? I've worked down in the disco. There are only like 15, 20 people. You can work there alone. Fine. The only problem is if 10 of those 15 people are assholes looking for fights, one person is a little bit too little to be working this room. But I had to do it. I had to deal with the fear that I had before there was even a fight. And I'm not talking about after a fight started. Situational awareness. How you can see somebody's coming if he's going to be a threat. How you can see if a person, the way he's acting, the way he's dressed, is the person armed, is he not? Seeing these things in advance before it even happens. Maybe you can avoid the fight. And if you can't avoid the fight, at least get prepared for it. Then I continue on to teach you some of the knockout techniques, the best knockout and knockdown techniques that I've ever learned, that I've ever used, that other street fighters have ever taught me. How to hit without breaking your hand, where to hit to get the most effect, how to move your body to generate power, say, depending upon physical strength or speed or explosiveness. I continue to teach you how to go ahead and get out of any situation in terms of standing on the ground, being pressed against a wall, how to deal with multiple attackers, everything that I learned. But I'm going to do this every single week by giving you just one lesson to avoid information overload. I'm not going to give you a whole box full of CDs. You might look at the one or the other and you never really learn anything. I'm going to just teach you, this is the lesson for this week. You have a whole week to learn. You have a whole week to listen to the MP3 or a whole week to watch the video. Learn this. And next week you're going to get your next lesson. And like I said, it's the most important stuff in the beginning, getting to more specific stuff towards the end. So go ahead and look down below this video and you'll see a little bit more specifically the things I'm going to be teaching you. It's going to be over 52 weeks, over an entire year, and it's going to cost less than $20 a month. Okay? Pay in full upfront. Get your lessons, one every single week for the next 52 weeks, plus the other things I'm going to be sending out to you that I don't consider to be part of the curriculum. The case studies where I show you an extra specific street fight and I break it down to show you what the person that won did right, what the person that lost or got his ass kicked did wrong, how to improve upon it. I'll be answering your questions. I'm going to get you a lot of stuff. Like I said, just look down here to see a little bit more specifically what I'm going to be teaching you. But for less than $20 a month, you can't even go in and get one of these ineffective martial arts, self-defense courses at the YMCA for $20 a month, okay? You can't bring your kid over to some kinder karate martial arts course for $20 a month, but you'll get the absolute best of everything that I've learned in my years of working the door, my years of just being a dirtbag that happens to be on the wrong side of the tracks more than often on the weekends. Everything that I've learned that has saved my ass, and I'm sure will save your ass too, if you learn it and if you have to use it. So the choice is yours.